so tall, and no, they won't forget. Yeah, yeah. Whenever you remember times gone by, remember how we held our heads so high, and all this world was there for us, and we believed that we could touch the sky. Whenever you remember, we'll be there. Remember how we reached that dream together.
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's remain standing for the Star-Spangled Banner, sung by our chorus and accompanied by the concert.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Dear God, we are thankful for being here today. The past 13 years of students has been filled with the most genuine and supportive teachers, administrators, guidance counselors, friends, and family members, and we are thankful that our lives have been touched by such amazing individuals. Up until now, our hands have been held, and we have been guided and protected by these higher individuals in our lives. As we move on to the next chapter in our lives, we ask for your blessing. We ask you to give us the courage to persevere through whatever lies ahead on this exciting journey we are about to embark upon. Amen.
Welcome everyone to, excuse me, I need to start over quickly, sorry. Yo, 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 people of Pentucket. My name is Davis Jackson, and I'm honored to welcome you all to the class of 2014's graduation ceremony. As I look out at the crowd today, I see so many smiling faces. Some smiling out of sheer joy, some smiling out of pride, some smile as an attempt to keep the tears from coming. Mom, just let them flow. But everyone here deserves to be smiling. Hard work and dedication has paid off. However, before congratulating everyone, I have to say that some thank yous are in order. Every single student in this class has had some help along the way to get where they are now. Whether that help came from the teachers and administrators who have pushed us to the best of our abilities in the classroom day in and day out, even when we all thought we literally couldn't. Or from our friends who have kept us sane during even the most dreaded moments. All those "I have 100 applications due tonight at 6" moments, and the "I literally can't" moments of the week, or even the classic "wait, it's not Friday" Thursdays. Friends keep you going with a supportive pat on the back and encouraging words. But most of all, I think I speak for most everyone when I say this, a significant portion of assistance came from parents and family. Through thick and thin, they're by our side. No matter how crazy our lives get, they're always there to keep us in line and guide us along the right path. I know that I don't say this nearly often to my family as I should, but I love you guys, and I wouldn't have made it as far as I have without your support and occasional kicks in the backside. Now, as I congratulate all of you graduates seated here, I want you all to be thinking of someone who has made a difference in your life and helped you get this far. Before the day is done, let them know how much they've done for you. It might just make their day. Congratulations, my friends. Good luck with the next steps of your lives, whatever they may be. I wish you only the best. Thank you.
Graduating senior Ryan Dimmick will now conduct the concert band in The Shining of the Stars. I'd like to now introduce the salutatorian of the class of 2014, Michael Ada.
Good morning, teachers, coaches, guidance counselors, families, friends, and the class of 2014. I'm probably supposed to address a current event issue or tell you all to go out and do great things, but my speech is inspired by the recently crowned Pentucket King, Tony Dalton. He's not here this morning because of SATs, but he wants everyone to know he's here in spirit. For the last year, Cooper Carriffio has been our unofficial king of high school. So can we take a minute right now to give a round of applause to the former high school king? First off, I want to say a few things about Pentucket. Since I've been here, the culture has been generally accepting. I think most of us are pretty tolerant. It seems friendships aren't limited just to the grade you're in. Mostly everyone seems to get along with each other. When I was in 9th grade, I was on the JV basketball team with Chris Adams, who was a junior. He immediately made us all feel part of the team and never treated us like we were typical freshmen. In 10th grade, same thing. The older guys have always been nice to the younger kids. Throughout my 4 years, the sports culture, like the school culture, has been like that. The building and the facilities are not reflective of the student body. We all know the building and our sports fields could use some improvement. But that hasn't hampered our outlook and development. Nowhere in life should you let your physical environment dictate who you are. What really makes up Pentucket is the people. Our students, teachers, coaches, and even Stevie Hodges are what made it pleasant to come to school every day. I've thoroughly enjoyed these last 4 years. I'm going to miss the camaraderie, the environment, and the sports. I've been happy being part of something that's bigger than me. For me, it was sports. I made a lot of my friends and learned a lot of life lessons because I was part of the team. I met one of my best friends, Adam Corey, playing basketball. Actually, Adam offered me $5 if I'd mention his name in the speech. So Adam, that's 3 times now. You owe me 15. The bonds we made here are not just from sports, but from other activities like band, art, student council, and even track. Sorry, Alan Cooper. There's a place for everyone to feel comfortable at Pentucket. Not everyone enjoyed high school. It's not for everyone. Even though some of us are glad to be leaving here, there are parts of high school that will stay with us forever. In 30 years from now, when I'm having corn on the cob at a barbecue, I'm going to think of Shankatola. And who can forget Mr. Thornton and his sidekick, Mr. Rapucci? But high school doesn't mean much after today. This is a new start. We can still go on and do great things. Now a quote from Tony D, the self-proclaimed Dalai Lama of Pentucket. Always try to improve your days as they pass, making the present day better than 2 days before, but worse than tomorrow. And yesterday is just yesterday. Now, I don't think anyone understands that. Kind of like Mr. Hickey's stat class. But I think his message is to go out there and try to improve your life every day. Make the most of your time. I think what we should do is do what we enjoy. We should do what makes us happy. If you have a passion, follow it. If you have a dream, figure out how to realize it. Have confidence. Some of us don't have long-term plans, but we do have short-term goals. Going to college, military, or work. Whatever it is, work hard. You get out of life what you put in. Your success equals your effort. And success shouldn't be measured by how much money you have, but by how happy you are. It's not easy to reach our goals all the time. So like the late Jimmy Valvano said, don't give up, don't ever give up. In closing, go out and enjoy every day. I wish everyone the best, and thank you.
like to now introduce the valedictorian of your graduating class, Megan Migliozzi.
Good morning. It's so great to have you all here today. Graduating from high school is one of those milestones in life that no one ever forgets. But thinking back on it, you might not remember your graduation as well as you thought. You probably won't remember much of what is said or who is awarded what because it only happens this one time. The things you do repeatedly, every day, in between the big exciting events, are what you will remember the best. Sitting down to dinner with your family, taking long, boring car rides up to your lake house, meeting up with friends only to spend the entire night trying to find something to do. That's the good stuff. Painted on my wall is the quote, "The music is the space between the notes." Similarly, life, the real meat of life, is all the stuff in between the big events. It may not be breathtaking, but it is what will define us. What will you make habit and routine? What will you do in all those in-between spaces? Having waited until only a few nights ago to write this speech, talk about last minute, I have noticed a common theme in what people are saying. Almost every speech, recognition, and award has addressed service. Service to the community, to the planet, and to one another. I think that it keeps coming up because there are a lot of problems in the world today. The world needs help, our service. Maya Angelou said, "When you learn, teach. When you get, give." We have learned. It is our turn to teach and give back. This may be a cliche, but it is real for our generation. Now, I told myself I was not going to make a long, boring speech, which most people would not remember anyways. And as many of you probably know, I hate public speaking, and I'm so glad I never had to take that class because I would have failed. And so the rest of what I'm going to say in the best way that I know how. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. Yeah, you're filled to eat, but always keep that hunger. I hope you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. When you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance.
My best friend gave me the best advice. It's crazy gift to not give it right. Leave no stone unturned, leave your fears behind.
The step you take.
Is the longest stride.
What if today was your last day and tomorrow was too late? Would you say goodbye to yesterday? Would you live each moment like your last? Leave more pictures in the past, knowing every time you have?
What if today was your last day?
Me and all my friends were all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing and there's no way we ever could. We see everything that's going wrong with the world who knows to lead it. We just feel like we don't have the means to survive and love and beat it. So we keep waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting on the world to change.
One day our generation is gonna rule the population. We keep on waiting.
and it can be down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will play one day, one day, one day. Oh, 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 one day, one day, one day. Oh, oh. I break tradition, sometimes I try, or else that's a lie. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. Oh, oh. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, and the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibition, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Judge yourself in words unspoken, live your life with eyes wide open. Today is where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten. When you think back on all we've done, I hope you're proud when you look back and see how far we've come. It was our time to shine, and nobody could hold us down. They thought they'd see us fall, but we stood so tall, and no, they won't forget. Yeah, yeah. Whenever you remember times gone by, remember how we held our heads so high, and all this world was there for us, and we believed that we could touch the sky. Whenever you remember, we'll be there. Remember how we reached that dream together. Whenever you remember. Whenever you remember, remember. Congratulations, class of 2014.
That was awesome. I'd like to now introduce Mr. Terry Beaton from the Pentucket Regional Scholarship Foundation for the presentation of awards.
Wow, it's a tough act to follow. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Pentucket Regional Scholarship Foundation, it is my pleasure to make these presentations today. These awards are made possible through the generous donations of the Pentucket community, the annual mailing, the income earned on the permanent memorial and trust funds. This year, we awarded scholarships totaling $60,500 to 66 graduates. The foundation thanks you for your continued support. The scholarship recipients are chosen by the awards committee using the following factors: financial aid criteria, academic achievement, and extracurricular activity at school and in the community. The following named scholarships from the Permanent Memorial and Trust Funds honor several students, teachers, administrators, benefactors, and dedicated citizens of the Pentucket community. The interest accrued on these named scholarships and supplemented as needed by money from the general funds make up these awards. Many of the named scholarships are memorial funds established by families and friends to perpetuate the names of loved ones in a meaningful way each year at graduation. Recipients of named scholarships are asked to send a letter of acknowledgement to these families as an expression of appreciation. You may want to refer to the Pentucket Scholarship section of the graduation program for the background information on these awards. We ask that you please hold your applause until all recipients have been announced. Olivia Bulow. Please stand, Olivia. Olivia has been awarded the Daniel P. Hardin Memorial Scholarship. Jared Shepard. Jared has been awarded the Jill Buzzell Meredith Share Memorial Scholarship. Victoria Ruggiero. Victoria received the Carol E. and Eleanor R. Hubley Memorial Scholarship. Logan Sherwood. Logan has been awarded the David C. Teresi Memorial Scholarship. Megan Roccapriori. Megan is awarded the Muriel E. Shane Memorial Scholarship. Kaylin Manfredonia. Kaylin has been awarded the Thompson Family Memorial Scholarship. Victoria Bulow. Victoria has been awarded the Haverhill College Club Memorial Scholarship. Sarah Waterhouse. Sarah has been awarded the Hobart B. and Nancy J. Esty Scholarship. Nolan Bridgewater. Nolan has been awarded the Wilfred G. Journay Memorial Scholarship. Crystal Ludwig. Crystal has been awarded the Rose M. Witham Memorial Scholarship. James Journay. Jack received the Mark P. Lagarde Memorial Scholarship. Alexandra Atanasio. Alexandra has been awarded the Stephen Hardin White Memorial Scholarship. Nicole Vaselli. Nicole is awarded the Carola J. and George J. DeAngelis Memorial Scholarship. Leanna Demore. Leanna has been awarded the Eugene K. and Evelyn Vaughn Shaw Memorial Scholarship. Phillips Robinson. Phillips received the Frank and Janet Gowan Gertrude Johnson Memorial Scholarship. George Barlow. George received the John Gus Hayden Memorial Scholarship. Audrey Mulick. Audrey received the Robert E. Anton Memorial Scholarship. Laura Green. Laura has been awarded the Children's Castle Scholarship. Melissa Kowalik and Rachel Perry. Melissa and Rachel are awarded the Cecilia R. and Irving L. Vaughn Memorial Scholarship. Sean Closey. Sean has received the Genevieve A. Lay Memorial Scholarship. Connor Durkin. Connor is awarded the Jerry J. Luca Memorial Scholarship. Kaylin Bernier. Kaylin has been awarded the Buckley Burke Family Scholarship. Haley Kahn. Hallie is awarded the Susan M. Tocci Memorial Scholarship. Jordan Boletto. Jordan has received the R. Burke Bevilacqua Memorial Scholarship. Yasmin Adiak. Yasmin has been awarded the Carol G. and Walter B. Dresser Memorial Scholarship. Amber Richard. Amber has been awarded the Charlton and Phyllis Parker Scholarship. Abigail Lacey. Abigail is awarded the Ellen Burke Hart Scholarship. The foundation is also pleased to present the following students with general Pentucket scholarships: Eric Hardaway, and Savannah Russell. Now we have Founders Awards. These scholarships have become self-sustaining as a result of many generous contributions. The foundation hopes that in future years, more of the named scholarships will be designated as Founders Awards. Liza Brackbill and Adam Corey. Liza and Adam have been awarded the West Newbury Women's Club Memorial Scholarship. And now Adam owes me $5. Matthew Romanowski. Matthew has received the Stephen Krajewski Memorial Scholarship. Emily Mixon and Ryan Kuchar. Emily and Ryan received the Milton S. Otis and Bruce H. Otis Memorial Scholarship. Nicholas Zaya. Nick is awarded the Ethel M. McAuliffe Memorial Scholarship. The foundation is pleased to present the following students with Martin B. Crane Family Scholarships. Haley Collins, Jared Crocker, Carlos de Castillo, Zachary Holden, Amber Lancy, Aisha Maui, Sarah Maloney, Emily Marchand, Paige McKean, Shannon Sands, Alexandra Silva, and Nadisha Wickham-Aratne. Alan Barlow. Alan has been awarded the Merrimack Savings Bank Lynn E. Brackett Memorial Scholarship. Michael Ada. Michael has been awarded the Jim Jones West Newbury Youth Basketball Scholarship. Sydney Hart. Sydney has been awarded the Cindy Mills Memorial Scholarship. Holly Lancy. Holly has received the Skip Snack Bar Scholarship, which was established by the Matthews family. Brittany Devlin. Brittany has been awarded the Tara Minicello Memorial Scholarship. Ryan Dimmick. Ryan has received the A. Neal and Joyce O. Gadd Memorial Scholarship. Brett Connolly. Brett has been awarded the Jamie Grabowski Memorial Scholarship. Samuel Colombo. Sam has been awarded the Gene B. and Arthur E. Fernald Memorial Scholarship. Mary Kate Corrado. Mary Kate has been awarded the William Beard Memorial Scholarship. Cooper Carithio. Cooper has been awarded the Paul G. and Barbara A. Sheehan Memorial Scholarship. Gwen Albert. Gwen is awarded the Jean Marie Connor Memorial Scholarship. Emily DeRoga. Emily has been awarded the Angela B. and Richard R. Jervey and Family Scholarship. Megan Migliozzi. Megan has received the Edward S. and Winifred G. Mosley Memorial Scholarship. Derek Lavasco. Derek has been awarded the Lieutenant Ken Fowler Memorial Scholarship. Charlotte Merritt. Charlotte has been awarded the Dr. H. Marie Garrity Memorial Scholarship. Cameron Silvera. Cameron has received the Emma Louise Journay Memorial Scholarship. At this time, I would like to ask Representative Lenny Mira to rededicate the Mira Family Scholarship.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being out here today. My name is Lenny Mira, and I'm honored today to present a scholarship to Mr. Quinn Burton of Groveland, who will be going on to the University of Rhode Island, where he'll be majoring in engineering.
For many years, this scholarship was named after my uncle, Norino Mira Sr., a remarkable man who came here from Italy without a penny in his pocket. And in 1953, he started a small construction company called Mira Company, which is still family owned and thriving today. If you drive a couple miles down 113 into West Newbury, you'll see a road that bears his name, Norino Drive. And off that is another one named Mira Way. These were built by my family. Most of them also came here from Italy without a dime to their name. If there's one thing, one message that I hope all graduates take away from all this, is that the American dream is both alive and well, and that we're fortunate to live in a place where just about anyone can prosper and find success through hard work and dedication. But today, more than ever, that requires an education. And that's what this scholarship is all about. The name has been changed to the Norino and Mary Mira Scholarship to also honor my aunt, Mary Mira, who passed away earlier this year at the age of 96. She epitomized that old saying about behind every great man lies a great woman. The purpose behind this scholarship is to help people like Quinn to go on to do great things. So, from the Mira family, I'd like to say congratulations, Quinn, and may you go forth and do great things with your education in your future. I'm sure you're going to make us all proud as you make this world a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Mira. This year we have a new Founders Award. So at this time, I would like Mike Castronellis to come up and present the Jackie Castronellis Memorial Scholarship.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Congratulations, first of all, to all of you here with the Pentucket class of 2014. Well done. It's on behalf of my entire family and the many donors over the last year, and many that are here today. It's my honor and privilege to award the first Jacqueline A. Castronellis Memorial Scholarship. Although Jackie's life ended far too soon, she followed her passion and was living her dream while performing as the lead female vocalist for Regent Cruise Lines at the time of her death. When awarding the scholarship, we asked the committee to consider the following qualities that were so eloquently spoken at a memorial service aboard the Regent Voyager by a friend and castmate. And if you'll permit me, I'd like to give you that quote. From the moment that I first met Jackie, she was so caring, positive, and cheerful. For anyone that knew her, they will know how friendly and outgoing she was, always standing up for what she believed in to help other people. Jackie worked very hard at everything she did, and we feel honored to have shared a stage with someone so passionate and devoted to giving such a good performance. Not only did she always give her all, she was positive and enthusiastic for everyone else. She brought hope to everyone around her and was so very special and unique. She lived without boundaries and inspired us all to dream and never stop reaching. We hope that this scholarship for this year's recipient, Casey Mann, that this will allow her to go out into the world and make a difference through music and the performing arts. I'm very pleased to present the scholarship to Casey's mother, Robin, for this year, 2014. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Casey isn't here today because she's coaching in a Special Olympics event, so she couldn't make it. At this time, I'd like all the scholarship recipients to stand for a round of applause. congratulations to the scholarship recipients and best wishes to all the graduates of the class of 2014 from the Pentucket Scholarship Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you to Terry and for all of the members of the Regional Scholarship Foundation and all of their supporters for year after year supporting our students. We appreciate it. I'd like to now introduce Michael Jones, the president of the Institution for Savings, for another award.
Good morning, and congratulations to all of you here today. On behalf of the Institution for Savings, I want to thank each of you who applied for our scholarship, and I wish you all the best as you begin a new chapter in your life. I am honored to stand before you to present the bank's $15,000 scholarship. This is the fourth year the bank has awarded a scholarship to a Pentucket Regional High School graduate, and each of our previous recipients have had high academic achievements, leadership skills, and most importantly, demonstrated strong character and kindness to others. This year's recipient also has those qualities, along with a profound understanding that in order to succeed, you must be willing to accept failure. As Winston Churchill once said, success is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. Michael Jordan, one of the best basketball players to once play the game, once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been entrusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." One of my favorites comes from Abraham Lincoln, who once said, "My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with failure." And a 2014 graduate of Pentucket Regional High School, who is sitting somewhere down on this field below me, recently said, "I know things are simply out of my control sometimes, and that's okay. Rather than being defined by failures, I realize I can define my life by how I respond to them." So to all of you graduates here today, please take the advice of your fellow classmate and understand failure is nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, it defines who you are as a person and often leads to success. Don't be afraid to take risks and make mistakes. It may get you one step closer to what you want to achieve. It is an honor for me to announce the recipient of this year's Institution for Savings Scholarship in the amount of $15,000 is Ryan Dennett. Come on up, Ryan.
Before we go to the next part of the program, we have a brief diversion. I've heard a lot of students talking about how they're really excited that they're all done and that they're ready to move on. But we have two students who actually aren't quite finished with all of their business in high school, and that's really actually a great thing. So at this time, we have two students who we're going to excuse early from our ceremony because they need to get to Bridgewater State to participate in the all-state track meet. Aisha is going to throw the discus, and Allie is going to pole vault. So we want to honor them with their diplomas now, and then they're going to leave us, and we wish them the best of luck. So, our first graduate today is Alexandra Keiko Atanasio. And our second graduate is Aisha Malhi. So here you sit, about to graduate from high school. Where will you be in 12 years? A lot of speeches wonder and talk about future plans. You know what? In 12 years, you could be right back here addressing the next class that graduates from Pentucket High School. And I want to introduce at this time our guest speaker, who is Tony Beatrice, one of our music directors here at the school and a graduate of the class of 2002. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Good morning. It is a beautiful morning, is it not? Yes, you can all agree. I wish to thank the Pentucket administration, school committee, faculty, staff, parents, and especially the class of 2014 for having me speak today. I'm truly humbled to have been selected for this honor. I must admit, I was shocked when I first learned of it. The first thing I did, I posted on Facebook. In the days that followed, I decided I really need to study the art of commencement speaking. So then I went to YouTube, and for days on end, I watched commencement speeches. And I noticed two traits that were very common. Number one, commencement speakers love to talk about themselves way too much. And number two, the shorter the better. So I'm not going to talk about myself that much, and it's going to be a short speech, nice and sweet. I grew up in a beautiful New England town, which houses... which houses the only working bell made by Paul Revere, the oldest fire engine hand tub in the country, and many riverside houses which have chimneys made of cement instead of brick, signifying they were part of the Underground Railroad. This is the town of Groveland, Massachusetts, where there are no stoplights, and we're proud of that. However, if you've been there since September, you will notice there are stoplights there now, but they're not turned on. I am hopeful they will stay off. I grew up with 4 older brothers and sisters in a small house behind Washington Park. I played baseball there until middle school. My brother Michael, who loved to pull pranks, would always let our dog off the collar and the leash, and then the dog would make its way over to the park and would go and interrupt the game, and I'd be chasing the dog for about 10 minutes, and everything would stop. And that is one of my fondest memories of living in Groveland. I digress, and now I'm going to move on. I went through the Pentucket school system, and I loved every minute of it. In college, I had to write many papers on my educational philosophy, how I knew I wanted to be a teacher, and what inspired me to teach. Strangely enough, I can trace my roots to teaching all the way back to the 2nd grade at the Bagnell School with Aquaria Gray as my classroom teacher. It was during the rainy indoor recess that I would recruit other students around a small table, distribute the infamous Highlighters magazine, and instruct my peers to take turns reading certain sections. I called us the Highlighters group. Later on, in 7th grade, I had Mr. Belanger, who I considered the best old school teacher ever. He made us memorize the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere, the Gettysburg Address, the definition of a short story, our helping verbs, and much, much more. Later on, I had Michael Stevens for history, and one of the most inspiring lessons I've ever had was a mock trial, and I got to pretend like I was a lawyer, and I got to give opening and closing statements. I believe it was against Andrew Jackson was the case. And for some reason, when I got up, I think it actually was this podium that we had down in this room, I spoke louder than I usually did. And I noticed I might have a knack for politics. Also, Christian Langlois challenged me to get over my many issues with math. I was not good at math. I stunk at math. But he made math work because he applied it to hands-on activities. So when I took physics class, I had the best grade in the class. It was amazing, and I had a great time. And that inspired me to take an engineering nuclear class in college, which had nothing to do with music, but it was fun. Also, David Schumacher and Zach Field were my musical inspirations. They were cool and hip, and they still are. And they're very dedicated to the music department. And it's the place where I spent most of my time, even more time than at home. I remember my first college writing class at UMass Lowell. Our first task was to write an essay. My teacher ended up photocopying 4 of the essays which were turned in. One of them was mine. She then passed them out to each member of the class, explaining to everyone that these 4 papers were perfect. After spending half the class explaining why the papers were so well, she asked us what high school we went to. She was expecting multiple high schools. She was shocked to hear all 4 of us graduated from Pentucket. And that says a lot about the education that you're receiving here. The teachers are top-notch. They care about teaching. They care about you. And it might be hard for you to understand that sometimes, but once you leave here and you hear the stories from other students and people in the workforce, you'll understand and appreciate the education you had here. As Mr. Seymour just stated, 12 years ago today, I sat here, actually the second row, second one in, and there were a couple of consistent thoughts going through my head at that moment before walking up to this stage. And yes, it's the same podium, same stage. I knew I was going to college to UMass Lowell. I knew I was going to be a music education major. And most importantly, I knew I was going to start my second dream. Ever since I was 7 years old, I wanted to be a roller coaster ride operator at Canby Lake Park. It was one of the best summers of my life. Today, you might feel a sense of excitement, vigor, and you might also be scared. I describe this as the feeling of the first time of riding in your car alone with your license. For me, I was scared that time, mainly because I didn't want to get pulled over by the cops. And secondly, I had my radio on too loud, so then I lost focus of the road. If you know me, you'll know where I was going, and that was Dunkin' Donuts to get coffee. I'm here today to share some special moments, thoughts, and ideas, which I hope will challenge you to become the best you can be and give you a few moments to take in this surreal part of your life, graduation. I've narrowed down to 4 tips, and here they are. You're going into a world like no other. The economy is ever-changing. The needs for innovation are mandatory and are different from even my generation. Yours must be able to adapt to different jobs every few years, as opposed to being prepared for one career lasting a lifetime. The first tip I have to give you is don't take things too seriously. Keep a positive attitude. While growing up, I learned about hard work from my family, my parents, Teresa and Stephen, and my grandparents. My mom's side, those parents opened up a dry cleaning business in Salem. And then on my dad's side, my grandmother, who's 92 and still alive, she worked at GE during World War II. And my grandfather, Ernest, was in the invasion of Normandy. He became a construction worker, creating tunnels in Boston for 30 years, and he was the president of his union. He lived a simple life within his means, fought for what he believed in, but most importantly, he knew how to create a work-life balance, which I strive for today. He hosted lots and lots of cookouts each summer, and you were not allowed to miss them. Even if you had a baseball game scheduled, it was a strict, unspoken family rule. Getting to know my grandfather during his retirement years was the best. He is where I got my sense of humor, my many puns, and ideals that we can't take things too seriously. Life is simply too short. While I was in college, I was the conductor of the marching band, and this is a perfect example. I was on the field. Over there you can see there's a podium kind of next to the bleachers, so it's 6 feet up. I was on that. I'm conducting the marching band. There's 80 people out there. And the saxophones, typically, as they usually do, weren't looking up, so they were playing out of time. So I made a comment. I'm on a wireless microphone as well. Saxophones, you must look up. And they were kind of laughing. So then, at that moment, I was going to use my stern teaching voice, which I don't let out too often. And I said, this is a serious issue. The only problem was, it didn't come out that way. My voice cracked in the middle. I sounded like a middle schooler. So all of a sudden, 80 people on the field are frozen. They could not believe what just happened on a microphone in a parking lot at UMass Lowell. We died laughing for at least 5 minutes, and the focus of the rehearsal was gone. And to me, that was a great moment in my life where I just realized, you know what, productivity happens when everybody's happy, gets along, and can collaborate. The second tip I have for you is overcoming mediocrity. I challenge you to stand up to mediocrity and status quo. You are going into a competitive job market, and you need to stick out as much as possible. The best way to do this is not to work the most hours, but rather to work smarter, maximizing your time. When given an opportunity to go above and beyond, do it. Perseverance, passion, resiliency will become part of yourself, and those are great qualities to have. My very first job did not last very long. You could say I was pretty mediocre by definition. I worked at Inglesby Farm on the Groveland-Georgetown border. My job was simple. Pick the cucumbers that were ripe, put them into baskets, and then carry them over to the washing station. Luana Caballero, my Spanish teacher, was actually her brother who was in charge of me. He explained to me that I must watch out for the bruising, meaning gashes in the cucumber. I wanted to impress everyone at Inglesby Farm, as secretly I wanted to be promoted to the blueberry field so I could eat the blueberries while picking them. As a result, I took this job as a challenge to see if I could be the #1 cucumber picker at Inglesby Farm. It became a race, me versus the cucumbers. My second day on the job, I was left alone in the cucumber patch, and I went to town. I got into a system, I picked a cucumber up with my right hand, passed it to the left, and threw it into the basket. I got into a rhythm, and the process became muscle memory. By the end of my 4-hour shift, I had filled up over 10 baskets of cucumbers. They had to bring a wheelbarrow over to get the cucumber baskets back to the washing station. I worked so hard and quick, and yet I forgot the golden rule about picking cucumbers. Don't bruise them. Because I was worried about quantity versus quality, I ended up bruising nearly all of the cucumbers as I threw them in the basket instead of placing them there. I remember coming to work the next day and being told, you need to report to the bakery section. I knew something was up. Luke and someone else came over and explained to me that unfortunately, since it was a dry summer, they weren't going to need as many staff as they first anticipated. That was their nice way of saying, you're fired for bruising the cucumbers. In my mind, this was the first time I truly understood mediocrity in the workplace. I did not listen to the instructions carefully, and I did not take the time to do the task correctly. I promised myself I would never have a repeat of the cucumber incident in any future job. My next job was working at a new cafe called Beans in Groveland. The owner hired a bunch of teenagers with the goal of firing nearly all of them except for 5. I had the task on my first day of washing all the dishes. I was trained on proper washing and sanitizing procedures, took notes, and then proceeded to wash the dishes. To take this to the next level, I put my excessive compulsive disorder to work and organized all the dishes and coffee pots by style, size, and color and placed them on the drying racks. It was impressive. The owner came in to the washroom, saw what I'd done, gave me a high five, took a picture of the perfectly lined up dishes, and then told me I am one of the 5 chosen ones. It worked. I learned how not to be mediocre. I challenge you to rise above mediocrity and dare to be different. Ask the question, how can I make this the best thing ever? The third tip I have for you is travel the world and do it now. It's amazing how many student loans, a mortgage, a car payment, can be things that create a barrier for travel. So I'm telling you, in your 20s, go for it. And if you can do it through college and get financial aid, all the better. Maya Angelou once wrote, perhaps travel cannot prevent bigotry, but by demonstrating that all people cry, laugh, eat, worry, and die, it can introduce the idea that if we try and understand each other, we may even become friends. I've been to Australia, China, Europe, and most importantly, I took a cross-country road trip with one of my best friends a few summers ago, John. There's so much to learn and appreciate in traveling, and I must say it gives you an opportunity to grow up, mature, and gain perspective. One part of this road trip, which will always remain in my memory, was a trip to Yellowstone National Park. On the way into the park, a herd of bison, also known as buffalo, were blocking the road, and we had to wait about 20 minutes for them to move. They looked really big and hairy, and yet had a simplicity to them And they didn't look that dangerous. They kind of reminded me of the monsters from Where the Wild Things Are. Later that day, we got to our camping site and set up our 2 tents. We decided to go explore Yellowstone, so we lathered on the bug spray and hit the trails. At one point, we turned a corner and found an entire family of bison. Again, they looked big and hairy, but they looked friendly. I really wanted to pet the bison. They looked so cool and welcoming. As John and I moved in, all of a sudden, one of the bison looked up and gave me an evil stare. This was followed by a screeching sound I will never forget. We slowly backed up for about 10 feet, turned around and walked another 10 feet away behind a tree, and then we booked it out. Fast forward a few hours later, and we were actually evacuated from our tent. Like a scene from an L.L. Bean catalog, the bison stood right next to our tents. It was then we attended a half-hour class put on by the park rangers where we learned all about the bison. Turns out, these grass-eating animals can travel up to 35 miles per hour and are known to become violent and aggressive for no apparent reason. What once were cute replicas of Where the Wild Things Are turned into monsters from the elephant graveyard of the Lion King. In the end, travel. Don't have dangerous experience like this, but have a great time. My last tip is never be afraid to question. While in grad school, I served a 1-year term on the Board of Trustees for the UMass system. The trustees are similar to what we have as a school committee for our school districts in K-12. In a meeting in the fall, I noticed something strange about a budget item dealing with the building at the Amherst campus. Here I was in a nice office in Boston, sitting around with all these CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies, and I wanted to ask a question. I was very scared and very timid, and when I'm scared and timid, my voice gets a little jalopy, if that's a word. So I rose my hand, and thankfully, the chairman didn't call my name. So I thought, you know what? That's good. I'm going to put my hand down. I'm not going to get called on. Life will move on. Then the chairman said, Anthony Petras, what do you have to say? And I said, what do you mean? Well, your hand's up. I never put my hand down. And so began. It turns out that there was a budget issue. And I spent the next 4 months traveling between Amherst and the Boston UMass system office, filing reports, getting alumni support. The big thing that I had an issue with is that they were building a $10 million police station, but we had this other building they were collecting alumni funds for, and it was never going to be built. Lo and behold, at the end of the year, I received a letter from the interim chancellor of Amherst letting me know that they were going to allocate $4 million to this building to happen. And then they made a presentation at the next Board of Trustees meeting. And I'll never forget the letter. I got a note from the UMass Boston chancellor who said, if we're going to have a world-class future, we should have world-class facilities. And it's very ironic, as now we are going to have world-class athletic fields at Pentucket. You're about to leave this great institution ready to hit the world with all your might. You now have a landscape to paint on, and Pentucket has given you the tools with brushes and different colored paints to design your future. How you connect lines and dots, fill in circles and squares will be different for each person, and no one painting will be the same, and that's okay. You will encounter many failures, and with those failures come successes. Who knows? You might be one of the first people to travel to Mars, and that will definitely be a one-way trip to Mars. You might be the next governor to Massachusetts, and you might even come back and teach here at your home, Pentucket. Your future is positive, and there is much excitement in the air right now, and enjoy it. As we send you on your way, remember, don't take life too seriously. Rise above mediocrity, travel the world, and never be afraid to ask questions and stand up for what you believe in. And most importantly, in order to secure tips numbers 1 through 4, never, ever stand in front of a bison. Thank you, and best of luck to class of 2014.
Mr. B's got one more thing to do. Please welcome members of our class and our chorus and our music program for Send Me On My Way.
I would like to reach out my hand. I may see you. I may tell you to run. You know, say to me, well, pick me up with golden hair. I may see you. I may tell you to run. You know, say with the arms. I would like to hold my little hand. We will run, we will crawl, we will. I would like to hold my little hand. We will run, we will crawl. Send me on my way, send me on my way, send me on my way, on my way. I would like to reach out my hand. I may see you. I may tell you run. You'll say about the end. Well, pick me up with golden hands. I may see you. I may tell you run. You'll say about the young. I would like to hold my little hand. We will run, we will crawl, we will. I would like to hold my little hand. We will run, we will crawl. Send me on my way, send me on my way, send me on my way, on my way.
School Committee Chairman Willett and Superintendent Mulqueen, I certify that these students have successfully completed all of the requirements set forth by the state of Massachusetts and the Pentucket Regional School Committee, and I present them to you today as the graduating class of 2014.
Thank you, Mr. Seymour. On behalf of the Pentucket Regional School Committee, I accept the candidates for confirmation of diplomas and look forward to seeing you all on the stage.
Our first graduate today, Megan Nicole Migliozzi. Michael David Insalaco Aduk. Davis Kingsbury Jackson. Liza Palace Brackville. Phoebe Marie Law. Carly Ann Desjardins. Gwen M. Albert. Teresa Maddie Apicella. Yasmin Mahmoud Atiyah. Jordan Maloon Boleto. Alan Robert Barlow. George James Barlow. Jessica Renee Barlow. Robert Daniel Barry. Vanessa Jeanette Beauregard. Madison Marie Begin. Kaylin Margaret Bernier. Nicholas Peter Bonasaro. Jake Peter Bordiano. Juliet Tanya Bote. Quentin Lance Bouncy. Jacqueline Carey Brennan. Megan Bresnahan. Nolan James Bridgewater. Danica Kylie Bruce. Olivia Grace Bulow. Victoria Catherine Bulow. Cade Thomas Birch. Quinn Thomas Burton. Thomas James Byron. Andrew Joseph Capabianco. Cooper Brian Carifio. Kenneth Robert Carnes, Jr. Emily Jane Carr. Dylan John Sabula. Adam Daniel Corey. Kyle J. Shute. Jake Austin Cianci. Scott Parker Clement. Sean Michael Cloisey. Haley Patricia Collins. Samuel Robert Colombo. Hallie Christine Kahn. Brett Patrick Connolly. Corey James Corcoran. Liam Michael Corkery. Mary Catherine Corrado. Johanna Elizabeth Cortez. Nicola Josephine Crawford. Sarah Marie Crawford. Jared Michael Crocker. Tiffany Catherine Croft. Christopher Mark Croto. Noah Michael Curtin. Liana Damour. Emily Shara Daroga. Carlos Antonio Del Castillo. Trevor Colin Delp. Amelia Beatrice Desjardins. Brittany Sarah Devlin. Alex Michael Dumas. Connor Patrick Durgan. William Joseph Dwyer. Ryan Joseph Dimmick. Adriana Marie Early. Alexis Marie Early. Stephen Anthony Early. Darren Joseph Engelke. Julia Marie Maureen Fahey. Jenny Alexandra Fenton. Paige Brianna Fink. Michael Thomas Fitzgerald. Ashley Margaret Forrest. Rachel Helene Fowler. Thomas Watson Gallagher. Reed Landry Garant. Murphy Mackenzie Gildner. Robert John Gleason. Laura Elizabeth Green. Connor Liam Griffin. Robert Allen Hallowell. Eric Matthew Hardway. Stephen Daniel Hardy. Robert Tucker Hazelton. Mia Rogers Shoutau Hayden. Jonathan Proctor Hayes. Ryan Augustine Hill. Sydney Catherine Hart. Zachary Michael Holden. Kishani Denise Hughes. Daniel Albert Imperioso. Allison Nicole Jenkins. Hannah Grace Jordan. James Carlin Journay. Joshua Taylor Kemper. Shane Alexander Kitola. Allison Rose Knowles. Stephen Edward Kovac. William Tristan Kapasowitz. Melissa Ann Kovalek. Spencer Sebastian Kresge. Ryan Wayne Kucher. Abigail Rita Lacey. Julia Ann Lamarca. Amber Marie Lancy. Holly Ann Lancy. Chad Douglas Legault. Alexandra Cassidy Legals. Michaela Ann Lingerman. Whitney Elizabeth Lischke. Derek Joseph Lavasco. Crystal Nicole Ludwig. Sarah Elizabeth Maloney. Kaylin Marie Manfredonia. Victoria Rachel Manning. Emma Jessie Marchant. Rebecca Noreen Masterson. Christopher Michael McClellan. Tristan Luke McCormick. Kyle Andrew McDonald. Amy Michelle McDonald. Paige Elizabeth McKean. Ryan Michael Merrill. Charlotte Emily Merritt. Emily Maria Mixon. Emily Claire Miles. Mindy Margaret Monto. Alexis Marie Moody. Audrey Catherine Mulick. Jessica Ashley Matola. Tyler Robert Murray. Sean Vincent O'Brien. Casey Jeanette O'Connor. Connor Patrick O'Malley. Christina Marie O'Neill. Austin Devin Padalaro. Rachel Elizabeth Perry. Benjamin Alden Perry. Connor Martin Perry. Megan Elizabeth Perry. Rachel Joy Perry. Taylor Marie Rocca. Zachary Joseph Joseph Racine. Amber Noella Richard. Kyle Anthony Richardson. Kezia Riley. Phillips Winston Robinson. Megan Elizabeth Roccapriori. Matthew John Romanowski. Gianna Mary Rosenau. Victoria Elizabeth Rogerio. Savannah Mercy Russell. Ashley Maktab Sadatman. Michael Stephen Salmonson. Shannon Elizabeth Sands. Mark Edward Schmidt. Catherine Emily Schultz. Will Paul Sargent. Eric Douglas Scott. Jared William Shepard. Logan Dana Sherwood. Alexandra Brianna Silva. Cameron Herculano Silvera. John Patrick Sorois. Alden Morrill Slack. Benjamin Robert Smith. Donovan Chase Smith. Dylan Robert Smith. Sydney Anna Snow. Nicholas Patrick Soder. John Wyatt Spone. Julia Grace Stazik. Christina Lucille Sullivan. Matthew James Thompson. Matthew Stanley Tuzinski. Brianna Renee Vetrano. Sarah Louise Waterhouse. Nadisha Samadi Wikramaratna. Jacob Cole Winning. Nicholas James Zaya. Congratulations, class. Turn in your programs to the alma mater.
the class of 2014, the Pentucket Regional Administration, parents, and teachers for the experiences and learning opportunities that culminate today in more than 180 diplomas. Today may be the last day that our class is all here together, but we will always be connected by the year 2014. I wish you success and good fortune in your future endeavors, and I hope that wherever your life takes you, you may always have the support of friends and family, your own strength and good health, and the nerve to make a change should you find yourself somewhere that you do not want to be. Most importantly, though, I wish that you may find happiness, where happiness is the key to your unlocked doors, the only absolute necessity, the purpose of our existence. Thank you and good luck.
Good one.